My name's Ginny. I've been living in Asia for 10 years. I have 3 kids and 1 dog. I'm originally from California. When I was 18, I took a trip to this area for the first time and almost immediately fell in love with the people and the culture in this place. And so I've pretty much been living here ever since.
My name is Natalie. I moved to Asia after finishing nursing school. I was working in the States and I really enjoyed my job. I really enjoyed interacting with patients and helping people. But there's just something I felt like was missing. And so I began to explore opportunities into using my skills overseas to help sick people, to help educate. I began to look into opportunities to serve and work with kids. I've always enjoyed being around kids. I know that sounds crazy, but I've always been the one that enjoys the chaos. I don't see it as chaos, I see it as fun and exciting. I love just seeing each individual kid's personality pop out, hearing their hearts and hearing their dreams to be space rangers or firefighters, princesses. I've just always really enjoyed that. In looking for opportunities, I had an opportunity to start going to an orphanage here in the city, and I just have really enjoyed that. I've loved getting to know the staff there, getting to know the kids and working with the kids. A lot of these kids have disabilities and they need special nursing care. So I've been working with the staff, teaching them different things, simple things of here's how to help a kid learn to use a walker, and here's how to encourage a kid to play with a toy, and different things like that. And it's been such an incredible time and process for me, just getting to see these kids grow and develop, and just getting to see the staff also learn just new techniques and ways of doing things. And through this process, I've also been able to meet families in our community that are fostering kids from the orphanage, and seeing how the foster families are not only benefiting but also the kids.
For the last couple of years, I've had a dream on my heart that started after we had a foster kid in our home and then got to see him put with a family. I've had a dream in my own heart to start a foster home, and in the last little bit that's turned to a foster home primarily for children with HIV and AIDS, but not only a foster home, an adoption advocacy center, counseling center, education center, even a research center. We want to see it all happen, but really the heart of it, we want to see kids taken care of well. It does matter. Children being in homes does matter.
So through volunteering at the orphanage, I've gotten a lot of great opportunities, and I was approached by Ginny one day when we were sitting on the football field as everyone was playing Frisbee. And I had just come from the orphanage and we were just kind of talking about my day and all the exciting things that had happened. And she proposed a question to me. She said, "Hey, I have a crazy question for you." And I said, "Okay, what is it?" And she said, "What would you think about starting a foster home?" And my immediate reaction was, wow, that would be awesome. That'd be really cool. Kids need homes, kids need families. And I told her, I said, well, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. So I thought about it for about 2 weeks, just about, well, is this what I want to do? Is this where I want to go with my life? I've always known that I want to work with children, and this is a great way to do it. So I called her up 2 weeks later and said, hey, can we meet and talk about your question you asked me? And so we met and we sat down and talked. I heard her heart for foster homes, hearing her story of them fostering a kid, and the impact that that made on the family that ended up adopting that little boy, and hearing just her vision and her desire behind it. And I got to share my heart with her, my heart for kids, and seeing them reach their full potential, know that they're loved and that they are valued and that they're special. And from then we just decided, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do a foster home. We began to just research different needs just in our area and in our community that were challenging, and that people maybe didn't necessarily have the right education or the skills to handle. And as we were researching, Jenny introduced me to her friends Matt and Heather, who are fostering a little girl named Lily, who is HIV positive. And hearing their story, hearing the challenges that they went through, hearing Lily's story, really touched our hearts. And hearing that there are other kids out just like Lily that need families and that need that environment to grow up in, we decided that we wanted to start a foster home that focused specifically on HIV and AIDS.
Our story with Lily started one night when we received a text message from friends of ours. Our friends worked closely with HIV and AIDS, and they themselves were fostering a girl. And in this text it said that there was a girl who was in an isolation area of a hospital and she needed a family. And she'd been there for 40 days. The reason she was in a hospital and not an orphanage was because the orphanage refused her. And that was actually the second time she'd been abandoned. She was first abandoned at a train station when she was 1.5 years old, and she was found by a family. Another family that knew that first family actually began fostering her. They had her for 1.5 years. Authorities came to their house and discovered that this family had been fostering this girl, and they said, it's fine for you to have her, but you need to do a health check with her. At that point, this family took Lily to get a health check, and they discovered that she was HIV positive. At that point, she was 3 years old, and the family was no longer willing to care for Lily. They brought her to the orphanage said no. And so they had to take her to the hospital, where she spent the next 40 days of her life in an isolation room. My wife and I got this message, and within 2 to 3 hours, we knew we wanted to take care of this girl. We didn't know what the journey was going to look like. We didn't know where it would end. We just knew that this child needed a home. And so within a few days, we went to the hospital. I went to the hospital and I got Lily. I picked her up with my friend and we brought her home.
So as we were doing research on just AIDS and HIV in our area, we found out that it is a very big issue, that it's estimated close to 200,000 children are orphaned because of HIV or AIDS, whether that's they have it themselves and their parents abandoned them, or they've had a parent die because of HIV or AIDS. And so we saw that there is a great need and a great issue. And we're wanting to start a foster home that specifically takes in kids that have HIV or AIDS. We want to start with 3 to 4 kids. We think 3 to 4 kids is a good number to start with. We expect these kids to come with many different issues, physically, emotionally, mentally, just a lot of different issues, and we want to be able to provide the best care we can for those 3 to 4 kids. We want to see these kids work together as a family unit, supporting one another, and having staff that takes care of them 24/7. We see live-in nannies living with these kids, live-in parents, people in the community taking a part of this. We see nurses getting involved. We see doctors at the hospital. We see the community itself coming behind these kids and supporting them. We think the family unit is very important because that is so important to a kid's developmental stages and to the kids' emotional health and who they think that they are. So we want to be able to provide the kids with the best support possible to reach their full potential and to experience life just in a new way. These units will stay together. We are seeing them kind of as like brothers and sisters. So these kids come together, they grow up together, they go to school together, they have the same caregiver growing up. We're going to be advocating for their adoption. Once we know those kids are stable, once we know those kids are enjoying life and they're able to have the full potential of life that they can, then we will take in more kids. Then we'll have a new group of 4, a new group, a new family unit. We see this kind of capping out at probably about 20 kids, 4 to 5 different families. We're wanting to make a model that is not only sustainable but reproducible. We want it to be able to spread to other communities around the world where people can take our model and implement it into their own communities, and it can be sustainable. We really see the value in educating the community, starting with our employees, educating them on what HIV is, helping them see that it's not this scary unknown thing, helping them understand the disease process, helping them understand what happens with a person who has HIV and AIDS, understanding that they can be that person's friend, they can accept that person, that they don't have to put that person at arm's length, that it's okay to give the person a hug, it's okay to let that person know that they are special and that they are valued. We are willing to invest in people with HIV and AIDS. And we are focused not only on the kids, not only on the disease, but on the whole person. So we see life and value in the kids. We see life and value in our employees. We see life and value in our doctors. We see life and value in our partnerships. We see each individual person as a whole person, and we value them and we value their life. So in deciding to name our project the Lily Project, we began to look into what Lily meant in the local language. And Lily, translated in the local dialect, is pure and spotless person. So we thought, what better name than to name our project the Lily Project with the meaning pure and spotless person, because ultimately that's what we want the community to see these people as pure and spotless, people with hope and potential in life.